Alright, so the left half of Tara's face in the scene, I'm rewatching my videos, didn't have the muddled, complexion or whatever that scarring or whatever was on it. So, Tara's not Jin. It's gotta be Uru, right? Because, well, they did testing to find out that it was Jin, right? I'm pretty sure. But they probably only had his right half? But then again, I guess we're not exactly 100% sure, because there was some weird scene where it was like, wait, so we saw half of Jin and half of Uru. How do we know that, I don't know. Let's say Mama. Surely they're not going to immediately get me in trouble for this, right? But I'm pretty sure it's Uru. Because Jin was like living a good life, being a businessman or whatever, and Uru was like living in a basement, being very upset that he wasn't Jin. And that his parents loved Jin more than him. So it's probably his terror.
Yup, you got me. I wanted to slurp on the juices of young men, which is why I sliced them in half. Oh, come on, there's no way. Besides, Komeiji and Chikara are not young. Care to give a more serious answer?
Notice how my little sidebar over here, on the right of the screen that I can't point at? Guess I could mouse over to it. Doesn't say that we're on Mizuki's side. It's like, this isn't a Ryuki or Mizuki thing. This is a question for us as the player. At least, that's kind of what I get from it. Anyway, let's say he's Uru.
Right. Uru.
Yeah, because he had like the weird, right half of his face thing. That's a very strange feature of him.
We know he killed at least 3 people. Jin Furuway.
Oh yeah. This part, I forgot about this, that's right.
Chikara Horadori. Andes Komeiji. But why did he kill them? What was his goal?
Why did Terra kill them? I think it was for revenge, right?
He wasn't some noble philanthropist. That has nothing to do with anything.
It's gotta be to get revenge. I don't think he cares about the NirvanA initiative, really. At least everything that I've seen from him doesn't seem like he's not doing this for some larger motive. He's doing this because these people wronged him in some way.
That's true, I suppose. But that wasn't the main reason.
Okay.
I don't think Uru had that kind of
So it was
hobby.
for the NirvanA initiative. Guess I was wrong.
That's right. The NirvanA initiative. The loony plan to have humans reach moksha.
Whatever that means.
That's why Uru killed the 3 of them. We can put aside the little details for now. The most concerning aspect of the whole thing is the time difference. The left and right sides of the victims were found 6 years apart. Regarding the first victim, the facts are already in. 6 years ago, on February 10th, Jin Furuway's body fell from the ceiling of Devaita.
The right half of his body. That's right.
And this year, 5 days ago, also on the 10th,
Uru's body.
Mizuki's left half was found at the stadium, not Jin's. Plastic surgery and complete organ transplants. It fooled the investigators into thinking they were the same person. But what about the other victims?
I mean, to be fair, complete organ transplants would fool a lot of people.
Chikara.
That's a lot of work.
Komeiji, Tokiko. How do you explain those 3?
They put him on ice.
You have good intuition. You might already know.
Why did it seem like their bodies appeared after 6 years passed? Yeah, so this is kind of one thing I was wondering about. There's a lot of things that have been happening, particularly that one I just mentioned, where it seemed like Mizuki investigated that scenario, which would put it at the now time period, but then they're saying, no, that body got put in there 6 years ago. So what's the answer, really? Tokiko made miracles happen? I don't think that is the case. Who the heck is Professor Brown? And time machines, I don't know. I don't see time machines in this game. But Ryuki hallucinating is a given. Mizuki hallucinating? We haven't seen it, but maybe somehow the hallucinations were not made apparent to her? Or the timelines are not in the correct order could be a correct option for us as the player, because we're just watching, a timeline, so to speak. We're not exactly experiencing it for ourselves.
You've been brainwashed. You can't
Yep.
be taking Tokiko seriously, honey. It's all a lie. Probably.
Alright, so who's Mr. Brown? I gotta figure that part out.
Who is Professor
Yeah,
Brown?
it's Professor
Could
Brown.
you please not introduce a new character out of nowhere?
Let's say it's not in the correct order. I don't think the timeline as a whole is wrong, but I think there's specific events in the timeline that seem to be incorrect, which could either be, hallucinations is like a blanket term that would work pretty good to explain it, I guess, but maybe there's like a particular instance in a timeline
Right.
that was wrong.
In other words, it's not like that.
Really?
It's like this.
Huh. Okay, that's interesting.
This is the timeline that you actually experienced. The red and blue lines are intertwined, almost like DNA.
Okay, yeah, so she's definitely talking to us as the player, not as Mizuki. That kind of makes sense in some ways now. I'm like, what the heck is happening in here? I'm almost positive that Date's not supposed to be, assumed alive in this scenario, and why isn't anybody talking about
You
it?
started on the red line from the top, and then followed the blue line, which led you to this point. You've traversed 4 X's.
So yeah, I don't think Mizuki is hallucinating. At least not in the grandest sense. Ryuki definitely had something weird happening to him, though.
The left side is 6 years ago, and the right side is this year.
The problem is I don't quite know what all of these scenes are just by these very low resolution picture that I'm looking at right now.
To make things easier, we'll call the left side past, and the right side present. In other words, you came here, jumping back and forth between past and present, a day at a time, all to end up here.
So how did we still end up keep playing as, the same character? How do we keep playing as the same character if it's in the past? I know that, Mizuki still existed in the past, but does our player character just not matter in this scenario? Or, it's, somehow glossed over by, whatever story we're in? And we could have been the other player character during that time
Now
frame?
do you understand?
It would definitely explain some problems, but it doesn't give me a few more
Chikara's
questions.
right half was found the night of the 11th, in the past. His left half was found the next morning.
Okay, but Chikara's right half was found by Ryuki, and the left half was found by Mizuki as an older person. That's the thing, you can kind of when somebody's relatively speaking older, a time period of a couple of years isn't really going to make them look any different, but Mizuki was definitely older, 6 years later.
Komeji's right half was found on the 13th. His left half was found the next morning at 6 a.m.
And that would explain the whole timing, why, it hasn't actually been 6 years. According to the autopsy, it's only been a few hours.
6 years have passed, and now we're here.
So yeah, how is that happening? Because that's a good question, because, everyone else in the story is reacting as, that's weird. The other half was found 6 years ago.
In the present, Tokiko's right half was found on February 12th. The next day, a little past midnight, her left half was found in the basement of Horodori Institute. Long story short, the left and right halves weren't found 6 years apart. They were all found soon after each other. Nothing supernatural here.
I mean, sure, I'll give you that, but... Yeah. Okay. The true flowchart. Okay. Okay, so original flowchart. Let's take a look at that. Just for a second, if you don't mind. So all of our, yeah, I like that effect. So what about all those little... Because we clearly had, like, 2 main routes for both characters, but it did split at a few points here and there. Is that choice just gone? Yeah, right here. There's no, like, alternate path. Where that branched off, and then... Okay. So am I supposed to jump somewhere here? Gosh, that's confusing. Okay. Alright, so this beginning part of the story never changed. That's all normal. I like this feature, sorry. I'm trying to sort of piece some of this together. It's also hard to piece it together from just a very, like, undescriptive name and a single picture, you know? Okay. Yeah, that's crazy Tokiko for you. Alright, so yeah, 6 years ago, this murder happened and both halves of the body were found. And then, in the present, both halves of... Oh, when you go up, it goes sideways. Because I guess it's following the original timeline when you scroll up and down. Alright. And then, Tokiko's 2 halves were found in the present. And that's when, yeah, that's when we broke in. So wait, hold on a second. So 6 years ago, we broke into the basement? So that's what the real question to me is was it actually not Mizuki and Leon? Was it Ryuki and Leon? Because Mizuki couldn't have been this old, or was it she just like a middle schooler? And she did this. That's my question. Okay. So we found half a square head guy 6 years ago, and then the next morning, 6 years ago, we find the other half of him, except it's Mizuki? Alright. So 6 years ago, we did the terror thing. The terror sync. And then... So we're trying to find Kizuna. And the iris thing happened with the game, and then Date died, or we thought he died. So does that, I guess, does that explain why, yeah. Because in this timeline, I was like, why is no one acknowledging that Date's not dead? And maybe that's because he didn't die? I don't know. Okay. This is really throwing me off, I'll be honest. I still don't quite understand everything.
That's just my genius analysis.
Like, I get the concept that's being described to me right now, but I'm now trying to process all of this information as being wrong and trying to reprocess it correctly, and that's hurting my head, because I don't remember everything that happened.
Oh, but I know what you're gonna say. There's still tons of things that can't be explained, right?
That's, yeah, I'm glad you were listening.
Especially, who killed Uru and Tokiko? Jin, Chikara, Komeiji. It was Terror, Uru, who sliced these three in half. But then Uru was killed in the present, February 10th.
Yeah, so, okay. So, let's look at that flowchart one more time. Oh, never mind. They gave me all my things back. I guess it was just for that one scene so you could get a good look at it. It's still weird to me that she acknowledges in this route that Date should be dead, but he's not in this main one? But yeah, okay, so if Uru's cut in half, right, well, when did that happen? Uru would have been cut in half somewhere back here, right? Somewhere right at the beginning. I think it was right here, right at the beginning. Yeah, it was. It was one of the first things we did after this 6 years ago thing there. And then how did he cut all these other people in half after that? Yeah.
Tokiko's body was found after that. So who killed Uru and Tokiko? Well, I'm sure this mess will be cleared up soon. By Mizuki, her friend, and by you, Freyr.
Is me the character, like, or me the person watching the game, the Freyr?
So anyway, good luck with the rest of your investigation. I'll be cheering you on.
I appreciate they turned Mama into sort of like the narrator slash like omnipotent guide of the game.
Uh-huh. Who was I just talking to?
She really fits the role well, considering that they're otherwise kind of a joke character.
Maybe I've had a bit too much to drink. It's awfully cold tonight.
Okay. I guess we're just continuing the route, maybe? Wait, where are we? Okay.
Hey, about Kizzy. Are you sure she's okay?
Oh, I can't pull up the flowchart. I wanted to see where we were. I guess they're purposefully hiding it from me.
I made sure she's fine.
Kizuna went missing. Last night around 11 o'clock, Riichi Chieda, her father, contacted me. Okay. I started our search for Kizzy. After a while, I got a call on my phone. It was from her. She told me to meet her here at Iowan.
So, that makes us sisters? We're not the same age, but we're like identical twins. We have almost the same genes. That's crazy. I'm a copy of you. Don't say it like that. But I'm your clone, right? Technically, yes. But our DNA isn't exactly the same. My genome was rearranged. Your DNA was modified on top of that, which is why you don't have the symptoms I have. Basically, you're an upgrade, the perfect version of me. Don't say it like that.
Okay, now we can look at the flowchart. Okay, yeah, so we are continuing that route. So this is the true flowchart. Apparently we're looking for Kizuna, which is something that happened here, right? Yeah, Because Ryuki was looking for Kizuna. So we are continuing the route, apparently, of trying to look for Kizuna. Okay. That makes sense. So in this other route, he does a sync with terror. I guess that's what Ryuki does. And then that whole big scene at the underground, whatever place happened. Okay, sorry. Just trying to piece it together. I'm understanding it a little better, but it's still kind of difficult.
Yeah, the same as me. When I was 6, you were born at Horadori Institute and sent here. I'm guessing they thought it was too difficult to raise you at the Institute. I remember the day you arrived like it was yesterday. You were still a baby. But the moment I saw you, I got this feeling. I started bawling my eyes out. The people at the facility didn't know we were related. Makes sense. They were told we were from 2 different places. But we're both named Mizuki, and we looked really similar. So to make it easier, everyone started calling me Big Sis.
Okay, the Big Sis thing.
Mizuki. If I revealed myself to you, you would want to know everything. And one way or another, you'd find out. You'd find out that your genes were spliced. That your real parents aren't Renju and Shoko. I didn't want you to end up like me. I wanted you to live a normal life. As normal as possible, anyway. Get a normal job, a normal husband, get married, start a family, live happily ever after. A life like that. But if I showed up, I would ruin all that. That's what I thought, at least.
I see. Well, why didn't you tell me 7 years ago in November? I was already well on my way to an abnormal life at that point.
Maybe that's true. It's like I told you. I want to know who did this to me. I know that Chikara was the mastermind, but I want solid proof. That's why I was investigating him and his institute. Then, out of the blue, he gets killed. That's why I started following the HB case.
I asked her about what happened back then. She told me the details of what happened on the 12th and 14th. The 12th. Yeah, this little balloon game. I don't remember much about that, to be honest. Okay. Maybe I can try to piece together this flowchart again. I'm sorry, I know I'm going back here a lot, but I'm really trying to truly understand what's happening here. So where's that balloon picture? So the balloon thing was 6 years ago. Even though we thought it was something that happened with Mizuki, it happened 6 years ago? Is she now kind of coming to the conclusion that a lot of stuff's not making sense to her? Yeah, like we thought that we did the sync with terror, but maybe it didn't actually happen to us? Well, Mizuki anyway?
What you have seen and heard cannot be shared with anyone. If you do, I will kill her. I have an abundant amount of money. Even if I were to die, the assassins I've hired would still find her.
I see. That's why you didn't talk about what happened 6 years ago. But I think it's okay to start talking now. Why? I was able to freeze all of Terror's hidden accounts. We don't need to worry about any assassins anymore.
But you don't remember anything from February 6 years ago, do you?
I do not. My body was destroyed in the explosion at the cathedral. The Abyss communication network was also offline, so there was no backup taken.
They took me to Horadori Institute every so often for examinations. Well, I say examinations. I mean human experiments. I don't think you remember, but they did terrible things. I remember getting shots with needles as big as boba straws. My time with Horadori Institute ended when I was 9, and you were 3. It shut down and we were finally free. That's about the time you were adopted by the Okiura family. But me? Well, I told you about me, right?
You were blind in one eye and had a heart condition.
Right. So it was hard to find a family who would take me. Ultimately, it was Mr. Chieda, the chairman.
So when you were 9, you were adopted by...
The Chiedas. I spent the next 6 years there. Up until I was 15, I lived under the same roof as Kizuna.
I see. That's why she called me Big Sis. You said something about an eccentric woman?
Yeah, I was adopted by her.
Do you mean...
Shizue Kuranushi. Boss.
She did mention having a child,
Which is
right?
why my name is Mizuki Kuranushi now. You think that sounds kinda lame, huh?
No, it's not that.
Yeah.
You know how we're stronger than everybody else? Maybe she thought I'd come in handy.
So she wanted to make you work for her.
I don't know if that's the truth, but that's what she told me. Boss taught me how to fight. After she adopted me, she trained me hard every day. 6 years ago, when I was 18, I was hired as a top-secret member of Abyss. Boss wanted someone who she could rely on. Someone who would never betray her.
Wait, hold on. Okay, I'm starting to piece it together now. So, I don't know what's going on with the things that happened to Ryuki during present time. That stuff's a little weird, I'll be honest. And maybe it'll get explained and it'll all make sense soon enough, but... anything that happened as Mizuki 6 years ago, was that actually, Big Sis, I guess? Is this all Big Sis right here? Maybe. Just an idea. That would explain how 6 years ago, we'd have somebody that looked, at least age-wise, like Mizuki. But not necessarily explain... I mean, I guess Ryuki wouldn't look a whole lot different 6 years later, but he's kind of insane. Did he just have, like, strange moments of clarity that he was able to, you know, function in?
She trusted me to handle the most sensitive situations. Basically, I'm like a ninja. Well, a kunoichi. Which is why my existence at Abyss had been hidden. The only people who know are Boss, Pewter, and Ryuki.
Ryuki? Why?
I wonder.
By the way, I'm curious. Why were we given the same name?
Otherwise, the story thing wouldn't work out if
I
we had
don't know.
different names.
Maybe they didn't really care about the name.
But wouldn't that make it harder to tell us apart at the Institute?
I don't think they had any trouble. We had code names at Horadori Institute. I was Mouse, and you were Rabbit.
I remember the rabbit thing.
And you
in that
remember
one-
what they called
yeah.
us at Iowan, right?
So, in that one scene, that was her saving her younger self clone or whatever.
You were Big Sis, and I was Mizuki.
Yeah.
Is that what I called you?
No. You were still little. You couldn't talk much. You just called me BB.
BB?
Yeah.
BB, huh?
Anyway, we've already spent enough time here. We shouldn't be wasting time like this.
Good point. There's still tons we don't know about the HB case.
Follow me. I want to show you something. Huh? What is it?
Oh, no. It's nothing. Let's go, BB.
Trying to think about other things that happened over the course of time, like the The time capsule, did that actually pass through 6 years, or did they just dig it up like 2 or 3 days later? Okay, yeah. Yep, body's still...
Ah! What the fuck? This is information overload. My brains are gonna flow out of my ears.
Jeez, just relax.
I can't just relax. What is this corpse doing here? And why are Kizzy and Leon here? Oh, and most importantly, who the hell is this?
Isn't it obvious?
He's so big, he covers up his name title. You can't even see that it says Date.
Wait. You're that stupid porno mag collecting old man.
No.
Yes.
Why are you dressed like that? Where is Genny? What are you doing here? And one last thing. Where have you been the past 6 years? Why didn't you try to contact me?
I'm sorry, Mizuki.